Today, one of our biggest priorities is to bring you aspects of the investigation and accountability, because that's what the country needs in the face of such a tragedy. We hear from our sources within the committee investigating that this triple train collision was the result of a signalling failure. The joint inspection report on a preliminary look is pointing to a signalling issue resulting in this horrifying tragedy. The signal was given and taken off for the up main line for 12841. Okay, I'm not going to get into those technicalities because that is very, very technical, and only those familiar with how train signalling actually works will be able to follow it. But suffice it to say at this point in our news break that a signalling failure is believed to have been responsible for this horrifying train tragedy. Milan Sharma breaking the story first here on India Today. Milan, without getting into too much of the technicalities, explain to us what what a signalling failure means. The joint inspection team that's looking at the train tragedy says it was one signalling failure that led to a cascading effect, a chain reaction of mistakes that has resulted in this tragedy.
Well, yes, Shiv, a joint inspection report has pointed this out, that there was a signal that was given and taken off for the up main line for this particular train, the Coromandel train, and this train actually entered into a loop line, okay? So the technical problem here is that the signal was green and the other train also saw that. These are necessarily part of the signalling issues of the railway tracks and routes. Now, the report says that because the other train entered into a loop line, it crashed with the goods train, which you can see there's been a two-passenger train and a goods train collision, and therefore it also got derailed. And in the meantime, the train number 12864 was also passing through the downward line. So there's an upward line and there's a downward line, and exactly why the collision has happened, because the signal was given for the up main line for the train to go on the upside, but the train entered into a wrong line at that time. And timing of the incident has also been, written in this particular report there. The train was at the station at around 18.55, and the collision, the accident actually took place at around 18.55. And these are very crucial technical details to understand the role of signalling rather than kavach, which we have been talking about throughout this entire train collision accident. So when such a thing happens.
Milan, is this a technical failure or is this a human error? I don't want to jump the gun. I know these are early hours yet, but would a signalling issue or a signalling failure mean a technical issue, or was it like a human lapse?
Shiv, a signalling issue points to both things here. The technical failure as well as understanding that the signal was given to go on the up main line, while this train then moved to the loop line, which is the other line. And here this points out to both things, which is why an investigation of a high-level inquiry panel has been mandated. But we on India Today are breaking this joint inspection report first, made by the coordinate, the senior subordinates over there at the Odisha level, and they have submitted this report on the 2nd itself to the Railway Ministry.
Big story being broken by Milan Sharma here on India Today. A signalling issue has found to be the preliminary cause for the Odisha train disaster involving a triple train tragedy. Three trains were involved in this, I beg your pardon. Milan Sharma, first and exclusive. This is important information, viewer, at a time when the country is looking for information regarding what may have happened. There was no kavach, which is the train collision avoidance system installed on this particular route. We'll get into that in just a bit. But the preliminary inspection by the joint inspection team says it was a signalling issue, which could be technical as well as a human lapse, that has led to the deaths of nearly 280 people, with over 900 people fighting for their lives in a hospital. We will get to it, and as soon as we can take names, put faces to names, we will do that without fear or favor here on India Today. No matter How high it goes in the government, we will name and shame those who may be responsible for this tragedy. But for this time, we will continue to ask all of the question. It's been nearly 18 hours since the triple train collision in Balasore, Odisha. And these images you see are among the latest images that we've gotten from drones deployed there. Rescue teams, including the NDRF, the Indian Air Force, racing against time to get those bogies off the track as quickly as possible. Those who were trapped inside the train have all been removed. Thousands of passengers have been injured, but the tales of miraculous survival are also emerging, as they always do. Stories of grit, bravery, fearlessness, determination in the face of such crushing tragedy. Yashwantpur Express, which was one of the passenger trains that derailed last night, has returned to Howrah with its remaining passengers.